All right, the next map I want to talk about is a map comparing North America versus Europe. So let's just move our so we got our frame here right about there. Okay, so I just made the numbers on the map right away so you could see very easily population difference between North America and Europe. Now, the thing about Europe is depends on how you count. If you count Russia over here on the side as a European country, then you have to add on another 150 million, which brings us to 670 million, right? Which is bigger than North America. And also if you add in Turkey, which is another 85 million. Now, traditionally, Turkey always identified itself as both an Asian country and a European country, kind of half and half, because geographically it sits right in the transit of all the traffic going back and forth between those two regions because of the water here and the water there. This is the transit point that everything's funneled through to get into Europe. And then Russia, which spreads from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific on this side, traditionally considered itself part of Asian countries, but also part of the Middle East in a sense, but also part of Europe. So it depends on how you count them. Certainly the city of Moscow in this region is closer to Europe than it is to, say, Tokyo or Korea or to Chinese cities. So it just depends on how you count them. So a couple things that are interesting about this map. First of all, languages. One language of English spoken throughout these three countries. Second language being Spanish, and also a small population, actually slightly declining, French-speaking population in Quebec, but since they've been there 300 years, great political power, social cultural influence, etc. So let's say 2.5 languages, right? Then you go to Europe. Now, here's the thing about Europe, different than North America. North America basically has two big, huge countries, right? The Americans, 320 million of them, from coast to coast. English here, English here, English here. Whole big mass of customers, right? Pretty much the same thing in Canada, except for this small area here. Everybody here, English, okay? Now, if you look at Europe, right, you've got a whole bunch of countries which are twice the size of Canada. So look at England, twice the size of Canada. Germany, almost 3 times the size of Canada. France, twice the size of Canada. Almost twice the size of Canada. Twice the size of Canada, right? So just think about the Canadian economy and the number of customers there are. And there's several European countries that are twice that. But they're all a different language. So if you were selling some product in France and you wanted to get German customers, you definitely have to have the language printed in German, the advertising in German, the website, the YouTube videos, the Twitter comments, the viral videos, all kinds of things. And if you wanted to market to Italy, same thing. And if you wanted to get into Spain, same thing. So if you're an English company and you're selling into Europe, you're talking about 5 different languages, right? English, the language of the country in which you're operating from, then Germany 2, France 3, Italy 4, and Portugal 5. And don't even get me started on these countries here, which formerly part of Yugoslavia, which simply meant South Slavia, and broken up into the smaller countries of Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia, etc. Right? Then you got the Scandinavian countries all grouped together. If you take Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, 26 million. And then, of course, Ukraine off to the side here, 43. And then the Estonian countries and Latvia and Lithuania and so on. So that's an interesting dynamic when you think of language and space and population numbers. And I thought I'd like to share that with you.